Hello, I've got for you today the latest release from Montblanc in their Masters of Art collection. So a few years ago they discontinued the Patron of Art collection, and since 2022 have been releasing, or 2023 have been releasing pens dedicated to artists instead. This pen is dedicated to Gustav Klimt, an Austrian artist from the 19th century. Most known for his contribution to the Art Nouveau movement and what they called the Austrian secession movement to distance itself from traditional methods. So with this Masters of Art series, Montblanc is trying to pull more, I think, from the actual artist's work. And so far that's of course been the case. We've only had 2 examples, but this one definitely speaks to the artist's preferences and style. So, as usual, since the Masters of Art series replaces their flagship Patron of Art series, they've got very similar features when it comes to the packaging, the box, and the booklet. So there you go, Gustav Klimt, Art Nouveau icon. They've used a few techniques that they've used before in the Patron of Art series, and the writer's edition, sort of a hammered aesthetic and the lacquer over a barrel with different textures. So Gustav Klimt, I wouldn't call him a household name. I think I've seen his work before, but I would have a very hard time attributing his work to his name. I think this is his most famous Pallas Athena piece of work, and they pull quite a lot from this piece of work, as well as the kiss. I saw it there. Yeah, there's the kiss. This type of Art Nouveau style, I think, is iconic and what I would consider Art Nouveau. But to say Gustav Klimt, I don't know. So there we go, the booklet, just as usual. And now in the box, a beautiful pen. The camera doesn't quite give the gold the right degree of yellowness. It's quite a nice yellow gold, packaged in thick wrapping, as per form. And so here we go. The actual pen. So I think with the Masters of Art series, they're aiming to make it a standard to have the pen's proportion to the golden ratio. So they say this one is also fitted to the golden ratio. So the cap is slightly smaller than usual. And of course it's gold-plated fittings. Is the clip pivoted? Yeah, pivoted clip with beautiful blue lacquer over a barrel that's got different textures designed to pull from the kiss. I'm not painting the kiss. So there they've got his monogram. This he developed for his work in the secession movement. Very nice little, looks like a decal. It's not, yeah, it's just it's not etched, it's just no relief, it's just an overlay. Of course it is a piston filler, very smooth. And then a green stone. I can't remember which type of stone it is, but it's a synthetic stone, so not real. This also pays homage to one of his favorite paintings. So the blue comes from his muse. Her name escapes me, Emile something, Emilie, and the texture of the blue is from the kiss. The hammered aesthetic is very much almost identical to what they did for the Tolstoy a little while ago. I wanted to compare these side by side. The hammer marks are a bit bigger, so it's not quite the same pattern. Hammer marks are a bit thicker here, and those sections I think come from his Pallas Athena painting. This clip also pulls very much from the Pallas Athena frame. And then on the nib, so the nib is once again one of the reasons why I got this pen. The nibs are always a draw for me. A beautiful little Greek owl, almost a carbon copy of what you find in Athens in those tourist shops. And that's, of course, a nod to the Palace Athena, as well as to the building that the art movement took as its headquarters. So, not a bad weight. I think, wow, the balance is spot on there. It's not back heavy. Of course, it doesn't post. Beautiful size, I think. Nice color. It does feel like a magnet for fingerprints. You've got that perfectly smooth barrel. I think keeping it clean is not going to be too hard. So the Montblanc emblem is, well, simply black resin and white resin. And I think it's the first time I've seen them do this, where they've got a bulge. So the emblem is mounted in a bit of a bulge, so it's not flush or there's nothing proud of it. It's just like that. Bit strange. Not a particularly complicated pen. I think one of the problems they're going to have with the Masters of Art series is that for the higher grade pens, they pull a lot from the artist's work, which means that you're gonna have people who just will not like these pens because they do not like the artist's work. And with, let's say, the 888, they've gone for a gold and platinum color, which doesn't work with a lot of complicated elements, like here on the cover. Not quite ideal. I think this pen is still simple enough to not be overwhelming. It's hard to say that with a gold and blue pen, but compared to their others, this is simple enough to not be, well, if you don't like the artist's work, you would still be able to accept this type of simple pattern. It doesn't draw too much on those elements. I do wish, however, that they would pull more from the artist's life. So, of course, with the writer's edition, you don't have anything visual to pull from, really, unless the artist was also, or unless the author was also an illustrator. So, like here, the hammered barrel is a metaphor for Tolstoy's hammered life, the difficult life he led. Here, it's a bit more of a straightforward replica of the Palace Athena motifs, and same thing with this blue pattern. It's really almost identical to the pattern on the Kiss's robe. So, of course, it's a lot easier to design something like this. Just take some elements from the artist's work, put them on a pen, but it doesn't have quite the same connection to the artist, to the person's life, as they do with the writer's edition or the other pens. So there you go, the 2024 Masters of Art pen dedicated to Gustav Klimt. Beautiful. I think it fits quite well with the collection, especially given the hammered aesthetic. I hope that this stands up well. The hammered aesthetic on the Tolstoy does tend to show the underlay a little bit, but let's hope they got it right with this one. There you go. Wonderful little addition to their collection, especially if you like blue pens. Little different proportion. Actually, let's compare that. So yeah, you see the pen above here is a bit more standard to their proportions, and here they've got a cap that's slightly smaller. Let me know if you've got questions or comments. Thank you for watching.